Ladies and gents, welcome to UX, and this is what if it rains bananas for a single day? Spoiler, it's bad. What's in Kurzgesagt in a nutshell? I don't know what you mean. Like, let's imagine there are way too many bananas and it rains for a day. Okay, what intensity? How much number? If it's too many, like overwhelming number, yeah, it's bad. If it's thinned out, I don't know. I don't know what the topic of this video is. Like, okay, I guess of all the Kurzgesagt videos, like I've seen some weird concept, but this feels like I don't even know which category this is. This is gonna be interesting. Let's watch it. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe so I know which type of videos to react to more. If you like me doing reactions like this, scientific reaction or any like this, there are other reactions I did from Kurzgesagt and Vsauce, but I guess it doesn't post that much anymore. So check out the link in the description, there you'll find it. Yeah, that's always fun.
Okay, wait. The best and most amazing questions from you, our viewers. At Kurzgesagt, we're experts when it comes to tackling stupid questions, and on top of our own, we get hundreds from you on an almost daily basis. So, let's very seriously and scientifically answer some of them. Question 1. How many jellyfish do you need to power Tokyo? Tokyo is a hungry beast, gobbling up around...
This was the original title, wasn't it? I think that was the... I'm like, yeah, I don't remember this title. Yeah, it was the jellyfish one.
280 terawatt hours of electricity every year. That's more energy than these 20 countries combined and more than all of Australia. Can we power Tokyo with our innovative renewable energy source? Some jelly species like Aquaria victoria or crystal jelly contain fluorescent proteins and glow in the dark. If you put one of them in front of a tiny solar panel, you'd end up with something like a microwatt hour of energy. To meet Tokyo's outrageous energy demands, you'd need a quintillion, 300 quadrillion glowing jellies. That's too many. Can we use bigger ones? How about Namora?
No, because we don't have efficiency when it comes to like storing energy. Even with the nuclear plants, like we still use water. Like the means is still like boiling water in a way. So yeah, we haven't figured that shit one out. So yeah, okay, solar panel and like taking energy like that. Yeah, that shit is not efficient, right? We need sun's energy to use solar power at all. The sun is insanity. Jellyfish is not really. So yeah, the number would be ridiculous. Like it would drown Tokyo. Any other way? Yeah, no.
The Namora jellyfish. Really chunky boys, weighing about as much
What?
as a piano and growing up to 2 meters wide. They're armed with around 1,000 spindly tentacles that grow up to 4 meters long and help them suck up plankton from the water. In recent years, their numbers have been exploding, wreaking havoc on local ecosystems. Using these fridge-sized jellies to power Tokyo will finally give them something more useful to do. They don't glow in the dark, but jellyfish are kind of electric, aren't they? Unfortunately, no. If you've ever been stung by a jellyfish, you know it feels like a painful electric jolt. But the pain actually comes from hundreds of nematocysts inside their
Yeah, it's a neural thing, not actual electricity. It's like
tentacles, tiny dart guns filled with venom. So, how do we get energy from jellyfish?
Yeah, it's basically your neurological system exploding with that, not actual current.
We'll squeeze it out of them with the power of piezoelectricity. Piezoelectricity is an electric charge that builds up in certain solid materials like crystals or bone when you stress and squeeze them. For example, a quartz crystal is made up of positive and negatively charged atoms arranged in repeating pyramid shapes. Their charges usually cancel each other out. But if you apply enough pressure, atoms shift out of place.
Yeah, no, but applying that pressure requires insane amount of power. Rules of physics is you don't get nothing out of nothing. Like, in order to apply that pressure, you need that much energy to apply that pressure. Energy need to turn to pressure, so will you get anything out of that exchange?
And the pyramids become kind of wonky. Positively charged on one side and negatively charged on the other, like a battery. Together, they add up to a charge across the whole crystal. Piezoelectricity powers sonar, times quartz watches, and some nightclubs use it to keep the lights on just from the stamping of dancers' feet. So, here's the plan. We'll create a ginormous battery from jellyfish by harnessing the hypnotic movements of Namora's hundreds of long, thin
So it's not the way I was thinking of. It's like turning to battery-like thing after. Okay.
tentacles. First, we squeeze our jellyfish, one tentacle at a time, into a kind of wetsuit made from nylon 1111, a cutting-edge material that's been optimized for power production and has the same piezoelectric properties as quartz. Next, we watch as each twitch of a tentacle bends the tiny nylon nanofibers of the jelly suit, converting its movements into electricity. All we need to do now is to plug our jelly into a current collector with a copper cable to be utterly disappointed. Even with around 1,000 tentacles wrapped in energy-generating nylon, the electricity generated only adds up to around 1 watt or 10 kilowatt-hours per year. Enough energy to run your laptop for 20 days. Not bad, but we want to power Tokyo here. We need more jellies, way more, about 29 billion. Sounds like a lot, and it is, but right now there are 27 billion chickens alive on Earth, so it's mostly a matter of motivation on our part. A single Namora can produce millions of jelly babies a month, and with enough plankton to eat, they can grow from the size of a grain of rice to the size of a person in less than a year. If we want to breed a lot of them and fast, all we need to do is basically empty the Pacific of plankton. And of course, we'll need space to store them all. Giving each Namora a cube of space measuring 5 meters on each side sounds generous, but it barely contains the tentacles. All those jelly cubes add up to a tank that's about 7 times the total volume of Mount Fuji. With all those tentacles and cables, our biggest issue will be short circuits.
How about we create nuclear plants rather than doing all this effort? Rather than creating something that big, that at scale, much bigger than Mount Fuji and everything, just to house these things. And who knows what unique circumstances there that we haven't thought of, which make this experiment not even work, because that's 100% possible. Yeah, let's just put all that effort into making actual nuclear fucking plants. Or I don't know, put like big solar panels in a place the size of France or even Germany, right? Or something like that. No, size of France. That can supply the whole world's energy, apparently.
We need to insulate all 29 billion cables. And don't forget the tentacles themselves. Now, even if the jellies get tangled up, we can maintain a steady power supply for the good people of Tokyo. In reality, of course, our jellyfish power station would be pretty difficult to maintain. Namora would probably die constantly and need to be replaced. And the cost of building this whole mess and killing the ocean to feed them would be like spending $1 million to buy a single dollar bill. We're not saying any of this is a good idea, but now we've done the maths, there's nothing to stop you from giving it a try. Okay, bring on the next totally dumb, completely reasonable question. Question 2. What if it rained bananas instead of water for a whole day? Okay, so first we tried to calculate what would happen if for one day every single rain droplet was now a banana. Turns out, in a storm, several million raindrops can fall on a single square meter, which
It would solve world hunger? I don't know. Yeah, it's a monsoon season in India, so there you go. That's your food storage right there.
stacks quickly to the equivalent of a banana asteroid smashing into the planet and killing all life. While fun, this is a bit too much. Instead, let's take the average volume of rain that falls on our planet in a single day, about 1.33 trillion tons of water, a massive wobbly orb of water 14 kilometers across. Now, let's swap this water for bananas. Each fruit weighs about 120 grams, which will give us a daily banana fall of 11.1 quadrillion bananas, weighing 1.33 trillion tons in total. If we match average global rainfall patterns, even the Sahara Desert would receive around 15 trillion bananas. If a medium-sized banana has about 105 calories, 15 trillion Sahara bananas alone could already feed the world's population for over 2 months. For the world as a whole, the calories of all rain bananas add up to a grand total of 1.2 quintillion calories. With just 1 day of banana rain, we could go on feeding everyone on Earth for over 100 years. Of course, in reality, the banana rain would be pretty catastrophic. A banana falling from about 3,000 meters, the height of a mid-altitude rain cloud, would reach a velocity of 240 meters per second and strike the ground with the same kinetic energy you'd get from dropping a bowling ball off a 50-meter building. And we're dropping over 11 quadrillion of them across the planet. One of the rainiest and therefore worst affected
Why do you say without air resistance? There is air resistance, so why won't talk about without air resistance?
cities is London. It would face a storm of 21 billion bananas or 2.5 million tons. The shower of yellow death breaks roofs, shatters windows, and decimates national monuments. Human bones are no match for this monsoon, so we'd need to take shelter from a banana blitz inside or underground. All around the world, cities and infrastructure, rivers and rainforests are severely damaged and clotted with a layer of banana smoothie that's already beginning to rot. Trillions of mashed bananas are floating in the ocean, clogging up coastlines. Picture the aftermath of all the worst oil spills and superstorms combined, but way worse and kind of everywhere. And our problems are just getting started. The rotting banana mush contains 160 billion tons of methane, 280 times our current annual emissions as a planet. Methane traps around 28 times more heat than CO2. Adding this much greenhouse gas this quickly will lead to a catastrophic and sudden spike in global temperatures. Most ecosystems won't be able to handle it, and
Yeah, people are talking about like cows farting was such an issue because of methane. Imagine this shit at this level.
will witness a devastating mass extinction event. In short, banana rain is an apocalypse-level catastrophe. Okay, hopefully your question has been properly answered. It's time to wrap up for today. Please keep sending us your amazing questions, even and especially if they're stupid. We're collecting them and we'll answer more of them in the future. Wow, that's escalating.
I like because I'm tired of fucking science. I'm not gonna talk about black hole one more time. Let's pick the stupid question and talk about it. Yeah, well, go to original video page and from there support this channel. Why would it rain bananas in the first place? That doesn't, it doesn't make sense. What if it rain acid water? Maybe there is something to it. Like this is like one of those things. Like, you know, get your science right and then bend it, right? So what was that quote? I forgot. Like something like that, right? A Mark Twain quote. So you know, like in the fantasy video game world, Bethesda does that the best way. Oh, look at that, there are dragons. Oh, there is magic, but everything looks like somewhat realistic. There are no some magical mushroom clouds flying around, maybe in pretty old games, when there's everything's not bloom and gloom and just like colorful colors. It feels gritty, dark, and just realistic. But it has magic and dragon shit like that. So there has to be something like, how would bananas become, you know, vapor? How did it become a cloud? It doesn't make sense, but okay. I guess it was a stupid question, like he said. But yeah, there you go. That was the most of the video. Yeah, the first one was like jellyfish thing. At least there was something, but yeah, that's just, nah, that would not work. It's like, what was that? Like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, right? It just basically encompasses that one. He always has some ideas, but always those ideas have some critical failure behind it, like critical error. Everything's sound. There's some proper critical error behind it, like, okay. Purple, that was what if it rains bananas for a single day? I guess why not? Kurzgesagt. If you like my reason, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.